So it's week 5 of pregnancy. You're probably wondering what to expect, including changes with you and baby development. Now, if you took an early pregnancy test, then it's already been a full week since you have known about your pregnancy. And this might be hard to believe, but week 5 is actually the first week of your second month of pregnancy. So that means that it's time to update our number line. In this video, we're going to be talking about 5 weeks pregnant baby development, what symptoms and body changes you might be experiencing in your 5th week of pregnancy, and how to manage these. You might be scheduling your gestation ultrasound if you haven't done that yet. We will cover this and other things to think about and do this week. Welcome to the Birth Toolbox Classroom. I'm Alice, a doula and childbirth educator, going week by week through pregnancy with you. Sounds like it's time for class. What is happening with baby's development this week? Well, the baby is called an embryo at this point, and it's about the same size as a sesame seed, measuring approximately 0.05 to 0.1 inches or 1.3 to 2.5 millimeters in length. Now, this is another important week for rapid cell development. It's a time when the foundations of many of the organs and systems of the body are being set up. A milestone that happens during the 5th week of pregnancy is the closure of the neural tube. This structure will go on to form the brain, the spinal cord, and the entire central nervous system. Now, the embryo's circulatory system and digestive system are developing rapidly this week as the heart and major blood vessels are forming, and something called the gut tube forms, which is going to turn into major digestive organs. The umbilical cord continues to grow and will serve as an important organ, bringing nutrients to the embryo from the placenta and removing waste from the embryo. What symptoms should you expect at 5 weeks pregnant? Well, as we talk about symptoms and body changes, the most important thing here is to know that there's a wide range of symptoms that you can experience. You might experience all of these symptoms, you might experience none of the symptoms, or somewhere in between, and that's totally okay. Now, if you ever had any concerns about a symptom or a change with your body, don't hesitate to reach out to your care provider. That could be your general practitioner, your OBGYN, or your midwife. Now, the most common symptom at 5 weeks pregnant is the absence of a period. The 5th week of pregnancy is approximately 3 weeks after conception, and while most women don't have a menstrual period at this time, some women will have very light spotting or some irregular bleeding. Now, this is also a time of significant hormonal change in your body, and that can lead to disrupt your digestive system. So you might experience bloating and constipation. You also might find yourself having more frequent trips to the bathroom. Now, not surprisingly, the hormonal changes can lead to mood swings, irritability, and heightened emotions as well. Fatigue, of course, continues this week, and food aversions and cravings can continue too. Now, if you find yourself crying easily about how you no longer can eat your favorite foods this week, this is all because of the big hormonal shifts happening inside your body. Now, changes you might be noticing with your body in the 5th week include an increase in fullness and tenderness in your breasts. Many women find that they can see changes to their breast much earlier than changes to their abdomen. I'd love to hear what you're feeling this week. Drop me a comment and let me know. If your mind is racing about the things that you need to think about and do, then you're in the right place. Each week, we're going to tackle items you want to put on your list and don't want to overwhelm you, so this board isn't going to get crazy. Now, if you watched last week's video, you saw that make a prenatal appointment was on the do side of the list. I'm going to keep that one up. If you haven't done that yet, go ahead and get that done this week. Now, I did have a question about the first appointment and whether you need to go to a specialist like an OBGYN or a midwife. If you don't have one yet that you're seeing for your regular pap smears, then call your general practitioner for appointment. Now, in some cases, there are family doctors that you can also see for your pregnancy. And outside the US, it's quite common not to see an OBGYN or midwife for those very first appointments. In Canada, you might see your primary care provider for a few appointments. Now, since we're speaking about care providers, I'm going to add something on the think section of your board, and I call it manage questions. It is common to have questions that for your provider that pop up in between appointments. And so that you don't forget these questions, I recommend thinking about a system for managing these questions. So when it comes time for your appointment, you'll be ready to go with your list. You might keep an ongoing list on your phone, in the Notes app, or you might even want an old school journal to keep this information. I'm going to put a link down below to a journal that you can use to track this information that I created. You can keep your own think and do list and all of your questions in there as well. A journal is a great way to record symptoms and milestones as well. Last week, we added Be Aware to the do side. We are building on this idea by avoiding harmful foods. You've probably been wondering, what foods should you avoid now that you're pregnant? So let's break these into some groups and then talk specifically. You want to avoid uncooked or undercooked foods, meats, seafood, and eggs. So the easiest way to remember this is if you're going to eat a meat, seafood, or egg, it must be thoroughly cooked through. Deli meat sandwiches, for instance, they need to be heated thoroughly through. Sushi and raw fish should be skipped. Now, another group is unpasteurized dairy items. So if you're at a party and they have a beautiful charcuterie board with meats and cheeses, you should probably just skip that. You don't know if those cheeses have been pasteurized. Now, also, avoid fish containing high levels of mercury. These are big-eye tuna, king mackerel, marlin, orange roughy, swordfish, shark, and tilefish. Finally, when it comes to beverages, you want to avoid alcohol and limit your caffeine intake. Now, the amount of caffeine that's safe, according to the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, or ACOG, pregnant women should limit their caffeine consumption to less than 200 milligrams per day, which is about 2 6-ounce cups of coffee. Thank you to our first trimester sponsor, 3 Lollies. I am thrilled to announce our first trimester sponsor, 3 Lollies. Now, if you aren't familiar with the 3 Lollies brand, you might recognize their most popular product, Preggie Pop Drops. The first trimester, it's a great time to have these on hand. Now, I remember when I was pregnant for the first time, and I didn't know when that nausea was going to hit. And it's called morning sickness, but unfortunately, it's not something that you only experience in the morning. Now, Preggie Pop Drops are a natural solution to this challenge. The Preggie Pop Drops come in 4 yummy flavors. They're all natural, they're drug-free. There's sour raspberry, green apple, sour lemon, and sour tangerine. I love that you can grab a package of 21 for just $5 on Amazon. Now, this is an affordable way to be prepared for the symptoms that you might face in the first trimester. So with 21, that means you can have these close by when you feel that wave of nausea hit. I would probably put 7 of them in my purse, 7 in the car, and 7 at my desk. Now, this brand has staying power. At the time of this video, they have over 20,000 Amazon reviews. So thank you, 3 Lollies, for helping us in the first trimester, and thank you for supporting childbirth education right here on YouTube. I don't know about you, but I don't drink a 6-ounce cup of coffee, so that would be 1 12-ounce cup of coffee a day. Okay, we have put plenty on our Think and Do board today. At the beginning of pregnancy, it can be nice to have an easy-to-use resource to help maintain a healthy pregnancy, and the guide that I'll be referring to during this video series is this Healthy Pregnancy book. I love that the information is right to the point, it's easy to find, and if you'd like to grab a copy, I'm going to put a link down below and you can follow along with me in the upcoming weeks. It is just the beginning of your incredible journey to meet your baby. And I'm going to be here every week of pregnancy, and I look forward to meeting you right back here for week number 6.